against the floorboards in a sharp and slanted line, revealing all the little things I used to say were mine. But there's a gold leaf dancing in a slow and heavy swirl, the microscopic remnants of our shattered little world. I'm sitting on the carpet where we used to drink our tea, watching bits of yesterday drift down on top of me. And I'm just watching the dust settle, watching it fall, turning everything to silver in the shadows of the hall. Every memory is a speck drifting aimlessly in flight, searching for a place to land in the middle of the light. It's the only thing that's moving in this quiet, empty room, just the slow white winter of a love inside his tomb. I should probably get a cloth and wipe the mantle clean and scrub away the evidence of where we both have been. But if I clear the surface, then the surface will be bare, and I'd rather have the dust than find there's nothing left there. It's settling on your books and on the frames upon the wall, like a soft and grey confession that we've lost it once and all. They say that dust to dust is how the final story goes, but nobody ever tells you just how much the silence grows. It's the skin we used to live in, it's the lint from off your coat, it's 1,000 tiny heartbreaks that are keeping me afloat. And I'm just watching the dust settle, watching it fall, turning everything to silver in the shadows of the hall. Every memory is a speck drifting aimlessly in flight, searching for a place to land in the middle of the light. It's the only thing that's moving in this quiet, empty room, just the slow white winter of a love inside his tomb. So I'll stay here, very still. I won't even try to breathe. I don't want to stir the air or ask the ghost of you to leave. Just watching it settle down on the keys, down on my heart, and the 20 sleeves freeze. Let it cover me up until I'm part of the room, right out with the swat, nothing that comes next room. The kettle whistle loud at 9:30. I poured a cup for your ghost and one for mine, but the steam ran out of breath against the glass, watching the 2022's winter clouds pass. Now there's a film of grey on the ceramic ring, like the way the memory of us is growing dim. I took a sip and felt the shiver in my throat, while I reached for the pocket of your old coat. It's just cold tea and old letters on the floor. I don't know what I'm looking for anymore. The ink is fading fast where you signed your name, but the paper still burns with the Just the tanning in the dust and the ghost of her. If I burn the pages, will the room finally get warm? Or am I just a fool seeking shelter in the storm? It's just cold tea and old letters on the floor. I don't know what I'm looking for anymore. The ink is fading fast where you signed your name, but the paper still burns with a different kind of flame. One is bitter on my tongue, the other's heavy in my hand. Just the wreckage of a life we never planned. Cold tea and no letter. The porcelain is clinking in the silence of the sink. I've had too much time to sit and too much time to think. The letters are back in the box. The tea is poured away, but the taste of the absence is here to stay. Just cold, so cold, so cold. I pulled the heavy chair out from its usual place and felt the empty air where I used to see your face. The wine is breathing deep, but I'm the one who's out of breath. This quiet little ritual feels like a living death. I bought the fancy pasta that you always used to crave. Now it's just a mountain that I'm too tired to save. It's dinner for one, again at a table set for two. I'm chewing on the memories and the phantom ghost of you. The candles burning low, casting shadows on the wall, and the silence is so heavy I can't hear the teardrops fall. God, I hate the way the silver clinks against the bone white plate like a ticking clock, reminding me that I'm a lifetime late. I almost asked you how your day was, halfway through a bite, then remembered that you haven't slept here for 100 nights. There's a stain upon the linen from a glass you tipped in June. I can't bring myself to wash it, though it's been a bitter moon. The salt is in the shaker, but it's mostly in my eyes, staring at the vacancy where all our laughter dies. They say that time will heal, but time just makes me crave the noise of you complaining about the salt or playing with your toys. I give 1,000 gourmet meals for one cold slice of crust, shared across the counter in a world of simple trust. It's dinner for one, again at a table set for two. I'm chewing on the memories and the phantom ghost of you. The candles burning low, casting shadows on the wall, when I pass by your door, like I'm scared to wake the ghost of who we were before. Your favorite coffee mug is gathering the dust, a ceramic tombstone for the two of us. The silence in the kitchen has a heavy kind of weight. It's the sound of every word we said a little bit too late. Now there are ghosts in the hallway, shadows on the floor. I'm reaching for a handle on a locked and bolted door. I hear your laughter in the static, see your eyes in every break. Everything we build is just a mist that blew away. How do I live in a house that's haunted by your name, when every flickering light feels like a flicker of the blame? I found your blue sweater in the bottom of the bin. It still smells like the summer before the cold moved in. I tried to put it on, but it's a skin I cannot wear. Just a hollow piece of fabric filled with cold and empty air. The floorboards always creak where you used to stand and wait. Now they're just counting steps to a different kind of fate. They say that time is a healer, but time is just a thief, stealing all the color, leaving nothing but the grief. I'm a stranger in these rooms, a tenant of the past, building monuments to promises we knew would never last. But the shadows never leave. I'm learning how to breathe in the space where you don't breathe. Just a ghost in the hallway, searching for the light, but I'm still sleeping on your side of the bed tonight. Yeah, I'm still sleeping on your side tonight. I checked the 2020 Swissy calendar hanging on the wall, but I'm still stuck in the margin of a memory from the fall. The world is moving forward in a straight and steady line, but I'm trapped inside the punctuation of a life that isn't mine. I start a sentence, I am, then I falter at the breath, because everything that follows feels like a little taste of death. I'm living in parentheses, a side thought in the dark. Oh, it's just a lonely footnote, still holding on to you. The grocery list is shorter, just the basics on the page. A minimalist drama on a dusty silent stage. I keep my life in brackets so the edges don't bleed out into a world that doesn't know what us was all about. The sentence doesn't need me to make the meaning clear. The paragraph is finished and the end of it is here. But I'm huddled in the middle of a thought you left behind, in the grammatical static of a broken, weary mind. I'm living in parentheses, a side thought in the dark, a whisper bit of data that has lost its vital spark. Between the curved and heavy lines of who I used to be, there's a quiet little hollow where you're missing out on me. The main story is moving on, the ink is bold and new, but I'm just a lonely footnote, still holding on to you. So go ahead and read the rest, go on and turn the leaf. I'll stay inside the whispers and the brackets of my grief. Just a ghost, just a name, just a love that stayed the same. Closed off, tucked away, in parentheses I stay, just stay. Just stay. I caught my reflection in the window of the shop downtown, in a coat I didn't recognize, with eyes a deeper brown. I looked behind the glass to see if you were standing there, but I didn't even recognize the ghost inside my stare. The 2020 safe seats winner has a way of stripping bone, until you're just a stranger in a body you don't know. There's a missing person bulletin taped inside my chest, a picture of a man who used to know how to be blessed. He had a laugh that shook the room, a light behind his eyes before the us became a you, and all the forever dies. I'm walking through my own life, but I can't find the key. I'm looking for the version of the man I used to be. I went back to our old house and I sat out on the curb, afraid that if I stepped inside, the silence I'd disturb. I saw a shadow move upstairs, and for a second I believed that the me who lived there with you had never actually left. But then the porch light flickered and the vision fell away, and I realized that the me I knew died on our moving day. My fingerprints are different now, my voice is out of tune. I'm a hollowed out eclipse chasing a cold and distant moon. If I saw myself on the street, without a single nod or hello or a why. There's a missing person bullet taped inside my chest, a picture of a man who used to know how to be blessed. He had a laugh that shook the room, a light behind his eyes before the us became a you, and all the forever dies. I'm walking through my own life, but I can't find the key. I'm looking for the version of the man I used to be. He's gone with the letters, he's gone with the rain. He's just another casualty of this love gone wrong thing. I'm a brand new stranger in an old worn out skin, waiting for a person that'll never come back in. Missing, yeah, I'm missing too. The 22-year winter has a way of killing some, except the silver hum that follows me around. The neighbors turned their porch lights off a long, long time ago and left me in the kitchen with the blue and heavy glow. I don't reach for the light switch, I don't try to break the spell. There's no one left to talk to and there's nothing left to tell. So I pull a chair to the window where the glass is thin and cold and wait for the only company I'm allowed to hold. Now my best friend is the moonlight, the only one who stays when the sun goes down on all our better days. It doesn't ask me questions, it doesn't tell me lies, it just reflects the hollow that is hiding in my eyes. We sit in perfect silence while the world is fast asleep. Two ghosts across a distance that is far too wide to leap. Yeah, my best friend is the moonlight and the secrets that we keep. It traces out the coffee rings you left upon the wood, a map of every promise that we never understood. It doesn't try to heal me, it doesn't say I'm wrong, it just stretches out my shadow until it's 10 feet long. When I'm shaking in the darkness and the air begins to bite, it wraps me in a blanket made of pale and borrowed light. It knows I'm waiting for a car that isn't coming back, so it paints a silver lining on a sky that's turning black. They say the moon is lonely, just a rock in empty space, but I see a kind of mercy in its cold and cratered face. It's seen a million heartbreaks, it's seen 1,000 years, and it's the only thing that's quiet enough to listen to my tears. Yeah, my best friend is the moonlight, the only one who stays when the sun goes down on all our better days. It doesn't ask me questions, it doesn't tell me lies, it just reflects the hollow that is hiding in my eyes. We sit in perfect silence while the world is fast asleep. Two ghosts across a distance that is far too wide to leap. Yeah, my best friend is the moonlight and the secrets that we keep. So I'll stay here by the window until the sky turns gray and the plaster where the picture used to hang. Still listening for the echoes of the anthem that we sang. They say these structures settle when the seasons start to turn, but I'm just waiting for the lesson I'm supposed to learn. The insulation's heavy, but it can't keep out the cold of a story left unfinished and a love that's growing old. It's too quiet in the walls tonight, too still inside the frame. I'm whispering to the drywall just to hear someone say your name. The wires are all humming with the things we never said. 1,000 I'm sorry's buried deep beneath the bed. The house is holding secrets that it doesn't want to share, and the quiet in the walls is more than I can bear. I see the ghost of where you brushed your hand along the hall, leaving fingerprints of memories on the paper on the wall. I tried to paint over the places where we stood, but the sadness soaked right through the grain and settled in the wood. Now every time the heater kicks, it sounds just like a sigh from a home that's slowly breaking since the day we said goodbye. The foundation is shifting, the floorboards start to weep. There are ghosts in the foundation that won't let me go to sleep. If I tore it all down, piece by splinter piece, would the silence finally end? Would I finally find release? It's so quiet in the walls tonight, too still inside the frame. I'm whispering to the drywall just to hear someone say your name. The wires are all humming with the things we never said. 1,000 I'm sorry's buried deep beneath the bed. The house is holding secrets that it doesn't want to share, and the quiet in the walls is more than I can bear. So I'll press my palm against the white and I'll listen for a beat, but it's just the wind rattling the window in the heat. Quiet in the walls, quiet in my chest. Just a hollow house, trying its best to rest. I'm standing in the lobby of the place we used to go, where the waiter knows our names and the lights are always low. You started walking toward the booth, the one beside the glass, where we used to count the headlights and the people as they pass. He reached out for the velvet rope, a smile on his face, but I had to turn away before I stepped into your space. Because I see it still reserved for someone else, for the version of a man I can't find within myself. The water's in the glass and the candle's burning blue, but it's shining on a vacancy that used to belong to you. I'm a guest in my own life, just ringing on the bell at a table that's reserved for someone else. The calendar is open to a Saturday in May, with a circle round a dinner that we'll never get to play. I saw you in a sweater that I've never seen before, laughing with a stranger near a different coffee store. physical, a sharp and sudden blow that the reservation's canceled, and I'm the last to know. I try to buy a ticket for the front row of your heart, but the show has been recast and I didn't get the part. Now I'm standing on the sidewalk in the 2020 seats rain, realizing that my presence is a shadow and a stain, because that seat is still reserved for someone else, for the version of a man I can't find within myself. The water's in the glass and the candle's burning blue, but it's shining on a vacancy that used to belong to you. I'm a guest in my own life, just ringing on the bell at a table that's reserved for someone else. So tell the waiter I'm not staying, tell him I'm just passing through. I don't wanna see the person who is sitting next to you. It's a private party now, and I'm just an uninvited ghost watching you raise a glass to the one you love the most. Deserved, yeah, it's all reserved. I'm standing in the hallway where the floorboards used to grow, but the map inside my head feels like a country I don't know. I've got the key held in my palm, the brass is biting cold, but the lock is just a circle of some ancient rusted gold. I've walked this carpet 1,000 times, I know every thread and line, but the door that leads to us is one I can no longer find. It's room 404, the heart that's not found. I'm screaming in the silence, but there isn't any sound. The link is broken, the server's gone gray. The 2026 world has swept the memory away. I'm searching for a portal, a window or a crack. The data has been deleted and it's never coming back. I try to refresh the image of your face against the light, but the pixels start to scatter in the middle of the night. There's a file not found sticker on the mirror in the hall, and the access denied shadows are climbing up the wall. I remember there were flowers here, I remember there was heat. Now it's just a blank horizon in a long dead-ended street. Redirect me to a time when your hand was in my grip, before the connection started to falter and to slip. The signal is at zero, the screen is burning black, and there's no undo button to take the goodbye back. It's room 404, the heart that's not found. I'm screaming in the silence, but there isn't any sound. The link is broken, the server's gone gray. The 2026 world has swept the memory away. I'm searching for a portal, a window or a crack, but the data chasing the same patterns I did the year before. But there's a patch of darkness by the window seat that doesn't shift an inch in the summer heat. I walked right through it, trying to feel your ghost, but the cold is the only thing that holds me close. The shadows that don't move, shadows that don't fade, stained into the corners of the life we made. The light goes down, the moon begins to climb, but these silhouettes are frozen in a different time. I can't sweep them out, I can't wash them clean. They're the outline of a person that I haven't seen. Your coat is still hanging on a wooden hook, casting a shape like a page torn from a book. In the middle of the night when I'm half awake, I see a figure by the bed and my heart starts to break. But then the vision clears and the truth sets in. It's just a trick of the dark where you should have been. I try to turn on every lamp in every room to burn away the memory and the heavy gloom. But the brighter the bulb, the deeper the black of the space in the doorway where you're never coming back. The shadows that don't move, shadows that don't fade, stained into the corners of the life we made. The light goes down, the moon begins to climb, but these silhouettes are frozen in a different time. I can't sweep them out, I can't wash them clean. They're the outline of a person that I haven't seen. So sit in the dark, let the gray turn to ink, until I'm just a shadow too, I suppose. Oh, I think, standing perfectly still against the bedroom wall, waiting for a shadow to catch me when I fall. I picked up the violin that's been sleeping in the case. The resin on the bow feels like a tear upon my face. I tune the strings to sorry, and I tune the strings to gone. While the 2020 swings and the sun came creeping on the lawn, I waited for the cello, for the deep and steady hum, but the only sound falling is the silence I've become. It's a solo symphony, I could settle for the ghost, played upon the broken chords, what I miss the most. No harmony to hold me, no rhythm but my heart, beating out the measure of us drifting far apart. I'm playing The sheet music is yellow, where your fingers used to turn. The bridges we were building were the bridges that we burned. I reached for the crescendo, for the part where we were sore, but the melody just stumbles and it falls upon the floor. There's a resonance that's missing, a vibration in the wood, like it's grieving for the partner that it never understood. I can see the empty shell where the worms used to breathe. I can feel the cold vibration of the soul that had to leave. A masterpiece unfinished, with movement left in gray. I'm just bowing at the shadows as the lights all fade away. It's a solo symphony, a concerto for the ghost, played upon the broken chords of what I miss the most. No harmony to hold me, no rhythm but my heart, beating out the measure of us drifting far apart. I'm playing for the rafters, I'm playing for the stone. It's a beautiful disaster when you're playing all alone. So I'll play the final movement till the strings begin to fray, until the echo of your absence is the only thing to stay. One last note, holding in the air for a love that's gone, in a stage that's bare, just a solo, just a symphony for no one. I pulled your chair off from the table just to see the way it looked. I'm making all the recipes that you and I once cooked. The steam is rising off the plate, a ghost against the white, and I'm looking at the floral print that's bathed in kitchen light. I asked you how your morning was, I asked you if you would stay. Then I waited for the plaster to have something back to say. It's a conversation with a wall, a dialogue with dust. I'm pouring out my secrets and I'm bleeding out my trust to a vertical horizon made of pain and empty space that doesn't have a heartbeat and it doesn't have a face. I'm shouting at the drywall till my voice begins to crack, but a wall is just a mirror that never gives you back. The 2023's winter has made the window frames feel tight. I'm chasing out the cracks that appeared throughout the night. I told the mold and all the things I was too proud to tell you then, like how I give up everything to see you smile again. I'm leaning my forehead against the cold and steady grain, waiting for the insulation to absorb a little pain. The neighbors probably hear me through the vents and through the floor, talking to the vacancy behind the bedroom door. But if I stop the talking, then the quiet starts to scream, and the wall is all It's a conversation with a wall, a dialogue with dust. I'm pouring out my secrets and I'm bleeding out my trust to a vertical horizon made of pain and empty space that doesn't have a heartbeat and it doesn't have a face. I'm shouting at the drywall till my voice begins to crack, but a wall is just a mirror that never gives you back. So I'll tell it one more story, I'll tell it one more lie, that I'm doing fine without you and I finally learned to fly. But the wall just stands there silent, leaning in to hear the sound of one person crying through another lonely ear. Just the wall and the echo and me. The tea is gone cold in the pot on the stove, the same one we shared in our secret alcove. I'm still setting two plates and scraping the one, learning how to be half when the whole is all gone. I talk to the curtains, I talk to the air, expecting to see you still sitting right there. But the light hits the floor in a long, lonely line, and reminds me the space that was yours is now mine. It's the echo of your absence ringing in my ears, the loudest sound I've heard in all of these years. A hollow kind of ringing, a vibration in the chest, like a heart that's still beating but can't find its rest. I'm screaming your name in the middle of the night, but the echo is the only thing that holds me tight. The neighbors still ask how you doing today. I swallow the truth and I look the other way, 'cause saying you're gone makes it realer than stone. And I'm not quite ready to be this alone. I've memorized the cracks where the ceiling meets the wall, waiting for the phantom of your footsteps in the hall. But the house is a shell and the garden is dead, and I'm drowning in everything we never said. You're the static on the radio, the shadow on the glass, the memory that shatters every time I let it pass. If I stay very still, if I don't make a sound, maybe I can hear you coming back around. It's the echo of your absence ringing in my ears, the loudest sound I've heard in all of these years. A hollow kind of ringing, a vibration in the chest, like a heart that's still beating but can't find its rest. I'm screaming your name in the middle of the night, but the echo is the only thing that holds me tight. So I'll reverb, I'll dance with the ghost of the person I love and the soul I miss most. It's so quiet now, it's so quiet, just the echo and me. I woke up reaching for a hand that wasn't there to hold, and touched a patch of cotton that was winter morning cold. The sheets are pulled so tight on the right hand side of me, like a white-capped desert or a frozen silent sea. I haven't moved the pillow where you used to rest your head. It's still holding the impression of the final words you said. Now I'm living on the hollow side, the hollow side of the bed, tangled in the ghost lines and the dreams that we left dead. I'm sleeping on the edge because the middle feels like falling. In the middle of the night I still can hear your spirit calling. It's a king-size canyon, it's a mile of empty space, and I'm drowning in the memory of your half-turn sleeping face. Feels like I'm a tenant in a two-person tomb. I find myself whispering goodnight to the dark, waiting for the silence to return a single spark. They say you should wash the linens, they say you should change the view. But if I strip the blankets, then I'm stripping away you. I'd rather feel the chill of the space you left behind than the warmth of a new morning that's finally resigned. Now I'm living on the hollow side, the hollow side of the bed, tangled in the ghost lines and the dreams that we left dead. I'm sleeping on the edge because the middle feels like falling. In the middle of the night I still can hear your spirit calling. It's a king-size canyon, it's a mile of empty space, and I'm drowning in the memory of your half-turn sleeping face. And pretend the hollow space is just a place I haven't grown. The mattress doesn't dip, the springs don't even groan. It's just me and the hollow side, being all alone. Yeah, the hollow side is the only home I've known. I stepped out onto the sidewalk at the age of 3:30, but the 2020 changed morning didn't have a word for me. The traffic lights are changing for a road switching green and red for a world that's passed us by. I check the news on every screen, I scroll through every feed, but there's no one left to answer for the hunger or the need. It's like the rapture happened, and I'm the one who stayed to sit inside the ruins of the promises we made. It's the last man on earth feeling, standing in the street with the echoes of a million ghosts beneath my heavy feet. I'm shouting at the skyline, but the buildings don't respond. I'm staring at the ripple in the middle of the pond. The world is full of people, but the only soul I knew vanished in the vapor and took the planet with her too. Now it's just me and the silence in a wide and empty berth, dealing with the gravity of the last man on earth. I walked into the supermarket, left the money on the stand, just a hollow-eyed survivor with a grocery list in hand. I could take the finest diamonds, I could drive the fastest car, but it wouldn't bring me closer to wherever it is you are. The wind is blowing newspapers across the vacant park, like gray and tattered signals drifting through the dark. I'm the keeper of the lighthouse, but there isn't any ship, just a bitter salty memory on the corner of my lip. Is there anybody out there? Is there a signal in the air? Or am I just a radio playing to a vacant chair? If a heart breaks in a city and there's no one left to hear, does it make a sound at all, or does it simply disappear? It's that last man on earth feeling, standing in the street with the echoes of a million ghosts beneath my heavy feet. I'm shouting at the skyline, but the buildings don't respond. I'm staring at the ripple in the middle of the pond. The world is full of people, but the only soul I knew vanished in the vapor and took the planet with her too. Now it's just me and the silence in a wide and empty berth, dealing with the gravity of the last man on earth. So I'll head back to the house, and I'll double lock the door against the empty shadows that are crawling on the floor. Survival is a heavy weight when there's no one left to save, just a lonely king of a concrete, quiet grave. The last man, the only one, waiting for the setting of a long forgotten sun. drag the heavy oak across the kitchen floor. A screech that echoed out beneath the cellar door. I set it down exactly where you used to sit and watch the morning sun struggle just a bit to find the shape of someone who isn't there to stay in the long hollow light of a 22 in each so stay. I'm waiting for the weight to shift the gentle creak, but the silence of the wood is the only thing to speak. It's the sound of an empty chair, louder than a scream, a centerpiece of wreckage in a domestic dream. It's a wooden heart beating with a rhythm made of air, a monument to nothing, sitting right over there. I can't look away, and I can't close my eyes on the skeleton of us, where the laughter always dies, just the sound of an empty chair. There's a scuff mark on the leg from your favorite boots, like a tree that's been pulled up and severed at the roots. I find myself leaning to catch a whispered word, but it's just the heat and vent, the only thing I've heard. I almost reached to touch the place where your hand should be, but I'm scared I'd feel the cold of the void you left for me. It sits there like a judge, it sits there like a ghost, the piece of furniture that hurts me the most. I could take it to the curb, I could throw it in the fire, but I'm a slave to the space and a victim of desire. I'd rather have the hollow than have the room go flat, because at least the empty chair knows exactly where you sat. It's the sound of an empty chair, louder than a scream, the centerpiece of wreckage in a domestic dream. It's a wooden heart beating with a rhythm made of air, a monument to nothing, sitting right over there. I can't look away, and I can't close my eyes on the skeleton of us, where the laughter always dies, just the sound of an empty chair. So I'll sit across from it, and I'll pour another glass and watch the 2020 seas shadows slowly pass, just a chair, a vacancy, a ghost-shaped hole looking back at me. Yeah, it's so loud, the sound of an empty chair. Sound of an empty chair. I'm staring at my fingers in the middle of the night. They're curled around a memory that I'm holding far too tight. I used to know the texture of the lifeline in your palm, the way your pulse against my wrist could make the ocean calm. But now the air is heavy and the oxygen is thin, and I'm tracing out the borders where your touch has never been. It's the space between my hands, the gap I cannot fill, the ghost of your anatomy that's lingering here still. I'm reaching sweater on the chair and I reach to smooth the sleeve. Forgetting for a second that you took the soul to leave. My palms are getting callous from the work of letting go of the warmth I used to carry, of the heat I used to know. Now I'm folding up the nothingness and tucking it in bed, clutching at the echoes of the things we never said. They say that less is more, but less is just a hole, a structural deficiency deep inside my soul. If I could shrink the world until my fingertips could meet, maybe I wouldn't feel the cold of this empty king-size sheet. It's the space between my hands, the gap I cannot fill, the ghost of your anatomy that's lingering here still. I'm reaching through the darkness for a shape that isn't there, just a handful of the silence and a heart full of despair. My arms are open wide, but they're only catching wind, trying to bridge the distance where the us ain't always end. So I'll press them to my chest, feel the hollow in the bone, learning how to hold myself when I am all alone. Just the space between my hands, a canyon in my grip, watching all the love we had slowly start to slip. Fade out with the sound of a soft shuddering breath. Fade out with the sound of a soft shuddering breath. I watched a delivery truck pull up to the curb today. The driver climbed the porch in that familiar hurried way. He checked the name upon the box, then looked up at the glass, waiting for a motion or a shadow just to pass. He knocked once, then twice, then a third time for the road before he left the package there and lightened up his load. And it sat there on the welcome mat beneath the January sun, a little piece of normal life for a life that's come undone. It's an unanswered front door, a bell that never rings, a barrier of oaken iron between me and better things. I'm standing on the other side, just inches from the wood, but opening it up won't bring it back the way it should. The mail is piling up like snow, the porch lights burning out, and the unanswered front door is all I think about. I can see a key still sitting on the table by the wall, next to a bowl of loose change and a picture in the hall. Sometimes I hear a car door slam and I find myself halfway to the handle in the deadbolt just to see if it's the day. But the peephole's just a circle of the empty street outside, a fisheye lens of all the ways that you and I have died. In 2026, the world is moving fast and loud, but I'm behind a silent door, wrapped in a wooden shroud. There's a flyer for a garden show tucked into the frame, and a handwritten envelope that still carries your name. I wanna turn the brass, I wanna let the morning in, but I'm scared if I let the world start, I'll have to face where you've been. It's an unanswered front door, a bell that Check the thermostat, but it can't feel the chill. The air is frozen stiff. The ceiling fans are still. There's no humming from the kitchen, no vibration in the floor, no rattle in the window, no slamming of the door. I used to hear the heartbeat of the life we used to lead, but now the pipes are empty and the garden's gone to seed. It's a house without a pulse, a body made of brick. The clock upon the mantel has lost its steady tick. The hallway doesn't breathe, the stairs don't even groan. It's just a stack of empty rooms where I am left alone. I'm waiting for a shiver or a creak or any sign, but the heart of this home stopped beating the day you were mine. The dust is settling down like snow upon the rug, missing every footstep and every morning hug. The light comes through the shutters in a flat and hollow gray. It doesn't dance or flicker in the way it did in May. I'm pressing on the drywall, trying to find a spark, but it's just cold and plaster drifting in the dark. You were the electricity, the current in the wire, the one who kept the furnace fed and fueled the winter fire. Now the copper's gone cold and the pilot light is out, and the only thing that's living here is the shadow of a doubt, of a doubt. It's a house without a pulse, a body made of brick. The clock upon the mantel has lost its steady tick. The hallway doesn't breathe, the stairs don't even groan. It's just a stack of empty rooms where I am left alone. I'm waiting for a shiver or a creak or any sign, but the heart of this home stopped beating the day you were mine. I'm standing in the center, listening for a thought, but there's no warmth in the water, no fire in the blood. Just a house without a pulse, flat line on the floor. I'm living in a ghost that doesn't